Everybody wonders how the world will end. If you've paid attention to the last 15 years of blockbusters, you'll notice that there's supervillains who want to destroy most of the universe, there's kids killing kids in an arena for the rich and then toppling that regime, environmental degradation leading to an uninhabitable planet, and my personal favorite, zombies. These trends are worth noticing because they usually point us to something. They point us to something we're interested in, and we're interested in how will the world end. And maybe this has been our personal obsession for the last 15 years or so because we can sense that something's changing. We can feel power shifting at the global scale. We're noticing that the so-called moral fabric we thought that bound us together is not necessarily there in the way we thought it was. But if you study history, you'll notice that this isn't new. That there have been many times throughout history where people get particularly obsessed with how the world will end. It was scrawled on scrolls in caves in ancient Israel. It was chiseled into walls by the Mayans in South America. People have always wondered how the world will end, particularly when things are changing. And maybe that's because worlds were ending. Regimes were falling. Things people had put their security and hope in were toppling over like toddlers on shaky legs. Personal worlds fall all the time. Families split apart, divorces happen, people we love die. Worlds are always ending, and sometimes we find ourselves in a position where we're forced to pay attention. And as all these worlds have crumbled like sand castles or bumped into each other like marbles, it's been sung in quiet cathedrals and the fragmented light that comes out of stained glass for centuries that there is, in fact, a world without end. And one of the greatest indicators of this world without end is the book of Revelation in the Bible. And a lot of people will tell you that the book of Revelation is about how the world ends, the apocalypse, the end of things. But I would argue it's actually about the end of the beginning. It's about Jesus finishing what he started, the kingdom that is among us finally coming into fullness. And it was a powerful reminder for the people it was first written for, because these were people that were being persecuted for their faith for the first time. Because the word revelation actually means unveiling, and it showed them, it pulled back the curtain and revealed to them that they were part of some grand cosmic drama that had been going on since the dawn of time, and that they were on the winning side. That as the world around them seemed to be uncreated by war and famine and plague, they were part of the world that is without end. See, the book of Revelation was meant to instill hope, to encourage people to hold on. One of the phrases that's used most often in the book is, "To those who conquer will be given." And it forces us into a corner where there's really only two options, because there's really only ever two options when it comes to considering the future. And those two options are fear or hope. And wouldn't you know it, God's favorite thing to say is, don't be afraid.